right, guys, welcome to Sunday Night Charts with Jim of All Trades. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name's Jim. I'm a crypto trader. Used to trade the Forex a lot. Don't trade it so much anymore. I got a friend who's trying to get me back in it. We're really thinking about it. I just like crypto so much. Been trading crypto for quite a bit of time now. Anyway, my name's Jim. I'm a crypto trader, and I look at the market through an Elliott wave theory lens, guys. We also look at other things, but guys, I love to look at wave structure. See if we can predict where price is going based on the wave shapes that we see. Fives and threes, guys. Elliott wave theory is all about fives and threes. Waves have 5 waves and 3 wave shapes, and they make different formations. And once you identify those fives and threes, you can kind of see where price might be heading. Don't forget, though, I'm not a financial advisor. I never give you financial advice. I'm not here to do that. I'm just going to show you what I'm seeing in the chart, what wave shapes I'm seeing through the lens of fives and threes in Elliott wave theory. I'm going to tell you where I think the market's going and why I think it's going there based on the wave structure. But anyway, you're going to have to do your own research, guys. But I am a rational trader. I'm not a moon boy, not a bear boy. I just look at the market, and I get bullish when it's time to get bullish, and I get bearish when it's time to be bearish. And to be honest with you guys, it is a time to be bearish. There are lots of reasons to be bearish. If that changes, I will certainly tell you. If I start to see evidences that the market has flipped bullish, and there's some things we'll look at tonight. We'll look at some scenarios that I would expect to see. If the market's going to get bullish, I would want to see certain things on the chart. I'm going to show you what those look like so you can be ready for it. Okay? With that said, let me say hello to everybody that said hello to me. And we'll get this party started tonight. What's up, Ricky Spanish, my good friend? Guys, go check out his YouTube channel. I think he's a budding YouTuber. And got lots of interesting ideas. He's developing an indicator. And a good friend of mine from Atlanta. What's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Keith M. Hey, bud. Are you running right now? Listening to the Jim of All Trades podcast? Or are you just kind of chilling at home? What's going on? Hope you're well, man. Hope you're well. Hey, Music Life. Crypto to zero. I don't know if it's going to zero, all of crypto, but certainly, guys, we are in a bearish portion, I think, of the chart. And I think there's a crypto winter coming. And that crypto winter is going to weed out a lot of the S coins. If you don't know what S coins are, it's the crap coins. It's the coins that really don't have any real utility. They're just kind of fake. And guys, what's going to happen is the real utility and what the New World Order and what we're going to, the new economy that we're going to, the digital economy that the people that run the world are moving us to, that they're actually going to use, they're going to rise to the top. Okay, that's where the money's going to be. And there's going to be lots of fake outs in the process. There's going to be lots of psyops in the process, guys. So just be careful. You are in the Wild West of the digital age, guys. And we're at the beginning stages. It is very speculative, very, very speculative. And I don't think it is safe to have this kind of attitude that Bitcoin can only go up. It will only ever go up. Or crypto will only ever go up. Please understand that the markets pump and they dump, and crypto is in that category. Pump and dump. Okay? So with that said, we got to understand that we are in a phase that we just finished a pump. I believe we have the evidences of a finished pump. I'm going to show you what could happen if it's not finished. If there's one more leg to the upside, I'll show you what that will look like and how to predict it. What you will start seeing in the chart, I'm going to show you. I promise I will. But I also want to show you where I think we are, where I believe we are based on wave structure. And it is mainly a bearish look. Now, some of you are going to dismiss me outright and say, "Oh, you bear boy," and whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm going to try. What I do is, no matter what I believe and how I come to my conclusions as to where I think the market is, I always make myself look at the opposite side of the coin. I make myself look at the chart from the other side. I say, okay, what if I'm wrong and it goes the other way? What would that look like from here? What would the wave structure begin doing? What would it look like if it were the opposite of what I believe? Now, I don't start out with a bias and then make the chart fit my bias. Rather, I analyze the wave structures and we look and try to develop the bias from what we're seeing. We try to derive our information from what the chart's doing and not what I think it should do or believe it wants to do, or some kind of some kind of bet I've made in the market. Guys, I don't even hold any crypto. I do not own not one portion of a Bitcoin. Okay, I don't own any crypto. I am a pure trader. That means I can shift if it's going up, and I can shift if it's going down. And you need a guy like that in your life, because I don't care personally. I don't have a horse in the race. I don't have any investment money skewing my reality, pushing me to the wish and hope that the market's going to go up so that my investment does well. What I'm going to do is give you a purely unbiased opinion as to where the market might be heading based on wave structure. Okay. But that said, guys, I'm not here to shill anything, and I'm not here to push any particular viewpoint. I'm going to do my best to give you the most unbiased and rational technical analysis that I can provide for you. That's what I'm going to give you on this channel, guys. I may get it wrong. My opinion might be wrong at the end of the day, but I'm going to show you what I think and why I think it. And I'm going to show you where the invalidations are and what that will look like. So with that said, welcome to the channel. I hope you're ready for an awesome Sunday night charts, because I think the Bitcoin chart just got clearer. Okay, with this weekend's move, the end of last week's move, the chart just how do I say it? It invalidated a really important count. Elliott wave count, a wave structure count, that we can now take it off the table. And I'm really pleased about that. Why? Because that reduces the amount of options as to the wave structure that we're looking at, and it makes it clearer what's going on. So anyway, so yeah, I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. You're gonna want to see this for sure. But just realize that all of this is basically my analysis of wave structure. The market doesn't follow Elliott wave rules, guys, but Elliott wave rules keep us consistent with our analysis as to what we're looking at, and we do our very best to apply those rules in a nuanced way to understand where price might be headed based on market maker tactics, liquidity grabs, where the money is flowing in and out of the market. All right, with that said, let's jump in. What's up, Seth? Good to see you, my man. How are you, sir? I hope you're well. Hope things in your neck of the woods are doing well. I'm glad you're here, buddy. Mr. Fairhill, hey, bud. How are you? Glad you said hi. Thanks for shouting out. Decrypto. Inverse moon for the win. Jim in the house. Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if it's something special, but I hope to give you guys a good show tonight. Between the aisles, looking for a dump. Well, I think you're going to get one, but I don't think it's going to be straight down, and it's not going to be forever. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. James Bond. I got something funny, James. I'm in a play here in Michigan where I am, and we're doing the play The Diary of Anne Frank. And guess what? I play a dentist in that play. Thought of you. I'm not a Puerto Rican dentist, though. I'm a dentist from Amsterdam. Mr. Doosel is my character's name. If you've ever seen the show, that's who I'm playing in a show. So anyway, thought it was funny. Hope the dentistry is going well down there in Puerto Rico. Hope you're well. All right. I think I said hi to everybody. Said hi to me. It came in. Music Life. I think I got you. I think I said hi already. I don't know. Yeah, I did. I mentioned because you said crypto to zero, and I said I don't think so. All right, let's jump in, guys, and let's look at the analysis. All right, so why the title, the crypto chart, the Bitcoin chart just got clearer? Okay, because I was looking at this possibility here. I was looking at there is a structure in Elliott wave theory, and guys, and forgive me if you guys are seasoned Elliott wavers. Man, I had 25 viewers just a minute ago. Now I have 19 or 21. So I guess all my talking just sends people away. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can get moving here. So if you're seasoned Elliott waver, sorry about the educational portion here, but I try to accommodate all kinds of viewers here. In Elliott wave theory, there's something called the flat. Okay, it's a particular structure that's super common If you search my channel for flats, I do a lot of teaching on flats, and I've shown previous flats in the market and whatnot. But anyway, there's a wave structure we call it. It's a corrective structure. It's called a flat. And it looks like this. Basically, you have a three wave to the upside, a three wave to the downside that comes back a minimum of 90% of the A wave, okay? And then you have a C wave that goes up, and it can go up any number of things. Now, the interesting thing about flats is there's three types of them. There's the standard flat, like I have drawn here. There's the expanded flat, which the B wave overtakes the origin of the A wave. It comes down lower than the beginning of A. And the C wave comes up higher than the beginning of the end of A. So it looks like that. Let me draw three of them here. So this is the standard flat, something like that. This is the expanded flat. And then there's a running flat. Okay, a running flat is where the B wave comes back to the origin of A, and then the C wave is truncated. It does not take the high. Doesn't take the high of A. So that would be a running flat. Okay, so that would be a correction. All these would be corrections the way I've drawn this to the upside. Okay, so now those flats can happen inversely as well. They can happen upside down, right? So when they're going down, they would look opposite. So basically a flat to the downside. So here, let me just draw it with my pen here. If price is coming down, 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 you'll get an A wave, B wave, and a C wave. There's a flat to the upside, and then we continue down, right? Or if price is going up, you get the A wave, the B wave, and then the C wave, and that would be a flat, and then price would continue up. So it's a corrective wave. It's a corrective shape. Okay. Now, with the current wave and the current idea that I had is that, hey, we have a trend right now going down. Okay. And what I didn't say is that the count of flats is it's a 3, 3, 5. Okay. 3, 3, 5. Okay. 3, 3, 5. 335 is the count of a flat. Okay. So one of my ideas is that you had the beginning or the makings of a potential flat here. Okay. So in other words, you had three waves to the upside. Boom. There it is. Three waves to the downside. Boom. There it is. I was looking, and it took the low. So I was looking for an expanded flat, which would then come up here and take out this level. And I said, oh yeah, perfect. That would bring us up to 786, a 618, a 786, to even 80 to 90% retrace. We can pull the retrace fibs on that guy right there, and you see the 786 would have been perfect. It would have taken out this level right there, take out this high right there, take out this level, get everybody real bullish. It would have also gone up fast and furious in 5 waves. Okay, in other words, I should have seen this develop into a much faster wave. Something like that is what I would have expected to see if my flat idea was playing. But with this break to the downside, we invalidated that count. So we can take this count off the table. Does that mean we can take the entire count off the table? No, it doesn't, because we can now get that same structure, but we can get a larger B wave. Okay, but at least that takes the upward move very fast and furious is now off the table. We're actually looking at something a little different now. We're looking at a B wave that is going to get a little bit more complex. How would that be? Well, we still need 3 waves to the downside for the B wave, right? So what we've done is gotten a little bit bigger here in the way we've drawn this. And we say, okay, how is this B wave working? Well, there's a couple of ways we can look at this. There's 2 ways. Okay. Number one, we could be looking at what we call a WXY correction in the B wave, where the first wave is 3 waves right there. You see them 1, 2, 3, boom. And then the second wave, we're going to call this a little WXY 3 wave back to the upside, boom. And now we're looking for 3 waves back down. That means the wave shape we would expect to see is some kind of a move here with a correction back up and then another hit to the low. That would be one version of what I would expect to see in this flat idea with an expanded or a more complex B wave. So that is now what I'm looking for as one idea. That one of my main ideas is that I'm looking for this wave to come down in 3 waves, take out this low, come down to it, probably rebound and then take out the low, boom, take that liquidity and shoot up with some speed, okay, in a 5-way fashion, fairly steep and fast. Why? Because, again, that's a liquidity grab. That's what the market makers would do. Basically come down, bounce, take out the lows, and then bounce hard. So in other words, we're going to take out the longs by taking their stops right here. Boom. Take out the shorts by taking their stops up here, and then take the market down again after that. And that would be a fantastic liquidity grab, and that is one of my main ideas that I'm watching for in the Bitcoin market. That's a very commonly executed maneuver of the market makers and those that run this show, grabbing liquidity. Okay, so that would be one way we could see this B wave finish of a flat and still get a steep move to the upside, back up to the $100,000 range in price. Okay, that's one way, but that's not the only way this can happen, because if you look a little bit more carefully at this, instead of seeing this right here as 3 waves, we can see this as an impulse wave, and we can look at this as a running flat. Ooh, that's interesting. So in other words, the A wave is an impulse. The B wave is a running flat, looking for this to pick up steam tonight, tomorrow, come down automatically without bouncing off this level and coming back up like I just showed you and then down, but rather we may have just a little small bounce and then a final hit to the low, boom, hitting this level down here, taking out these stops, and then pushing away. It's the same count with a little bit different understanding of what's happening in the wave structure of the B. Either way, if we come down and hit this low, I'm looking for a serious bounce that could get pretty quick and powerful back to the upside. 5 waves. Is it going to happen in a day? No. That kind of wave is going to take a while, but it's going to go up relatively fast, relatively steeply. You're not going to get a lot of retraces and a lot of pullbacks in this kind of a wave. That's what flats do. If you'd like to understand some other flats that have played out, to understand how they work, you can see it on the small time frame. How are we guys liking the Sunday night charts so far? You guys enjoying what you're seeing and learning? Hit the likes for me. That would be fantastic. What we're going to do is we're going to analyze this little wave right there, because that is actually a flat on the very small time frame. You can actually understand the liquidity grab that happened here, okay, and understand why it happened and what's going on. So let's go down to the 5-minute chart and look at that wave I just circled, and you'll understand it's a 3-3-5. Okay, how does it work? Well, what happens? Here's what happens. You get a 3-wave correction to the upside. And then what happens is that this comes down, takes the low. Everybody believes, we're getting continuation. This was just a pullback. Continuation. So there's a bunch of people playing breakout shorts looking for this to continue down. But what they do is they hit the low, bounce back with speed. Okay, bounce back with speed to take out any traders that took out the break. And then they doubled this correction up and gave you a 2 flats right back to back, 3, 3, 3. It's a crappy thing. It really is. All right, and then what's happened here, and that this is where gets interesting, is that it looks like they're giving you another flat potentially. So if this is boom, boom, boom. Now they're giving you boom, boom, boom. This could come up fast and furious, take that level out, and still go down. In other words, we may not be out of the woods yet. This may not dump tonight. This may want to come back up quick and furious. Again, they took the low. They come back up fast and furious, take out the stops, and then they go. And it frustrates traders when that happens, okay? But that's kind of the way flats on every time frame work. Okay, and this is a prime example of one. Here you can see we had a flat today in the smaller time frame here. You had a 3-wave to the upside, boom, 3 waves to the downside, and a fast and furious wave that came back up. Now, who knows what kind of flat this is? We just went over the different kind, okay? I gave you 3 different kinds. It was a regular flat, then an expanded flat, and a running flat. Which kind of flat was this wave right there? Because that indeed is a flat. Who knows what it is? I'm going to wait and let you watchers catch up with me. I'm going to take a break and get a drink and let you guys answer that question. We're looking for one of the 3 types of flats. What kind was it? A flat tire. That is so funny. I love your sense of humor. We're talking about a flat as it relates to Elliott wave theory. Anybody? Anyone? Don't be sorry. I love humor, and I love your sense of humor. It's fantastic. You're welcome anytime. Nobody? Is there nobody here that can tell me what kind of flat that was? I'm going to draw it for you. The count is a 3, 3, 5. There it is. Y'all are disappointing me so bad. Unless y'all just haven't caught up with my live yet. There it is. It is a running flat. Excellent handsome. Handsome. That's funny. That's a great YouTube name. And then my cojones. That's very funny too. All right. Yes, I love y'all's YouTube handles. So funny. Nothing will ever beat though. D Shizzle. Of course, we got Camel, Mr. Camel, listening. I'm sure, or he'll eventually be watching the the live stream. All right. So yeah, that's a running flat right there, and we're looking for more down, and we got it. Now the question is, what's happening here? Well, it came down in 3 waves again, and it's going up in 5. And what you have potentially here, interesting count. You have the potential for a much larger flat with a flat in the middle of it. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. This could roll over and come down. I'd like to see it roll over and come down and just get some speed to the downside. All right. So there it is, guys. There it is. Going back to the higher time frame analysis here. Boom, boom, boom. One of the counts that has now been invalidated is the flat to the upside that goes straight up. Boom, boom, boom. But now what we're looking for is potentially a much more complex B wave. Okay, and in which case, WXY is my first count. Okay, W, there's X. Looking for Y. That would be my first count. Getting a pump here in XRP, which, pump off a previous important low here. You can see this low was made. You see all the liquidity that was grabbed right here. Boom. Look how they jumped off the level. Boom. And then never revisited it. Just held it, came back down to it, bounced, came back to it, bounced, hit it. Now they're coming back above it. And it's just big liquidity area right here. So I want to see what they're going to do here as far as wave structure, because, they're going to eventually take it down to take this low. But how are they going to do it? Are they going to come up here first and then take it down? Very, very likely. How is it going to go up there? I don't know. But, this could roll over and come down deep and then roll up. And that would be kind of a flat as well. There's all kinds of ways they can take liquidity. So that's what makes the market challenging. That's what makes the market hard, right? Difficult is when they just don't go in straight lines. And that's why we study wave structure. How do market makers move the market in particular directions? Okay, and what are the current formations that we're seeing, and how do they point to direction for us? Do they point in any kind of direction for us? Okay, so anyway, two ways we're looking at this wave. I'm either looking for this to, small time frame. We could easily, on the small time frame, we could easily come up here, take this area, boom, and then roll over. That would be a normal Sunday kind of thing, right? Easily do that. This is the 4-hour chart, right? So the near-term price action, this could easily come up here, take out this area. Then all of a sudden you've got this 3-wave shape. And then we roll over. That was a correction. We retesting, this zone right here, right? Boom, boom, boom. Done. And then we look for more down later. And that's very easily what could happen. Also, I mean, there's so many things. There's no way for me to predict small time frame, how and what kind of waves. It just all depends on who's taking trades, where the liquidity is, and what kinds of structures they want to make. But at the end of the day, on the large time frame, when I say large time frame, 4-hour chart, which is the main time frame the big boys trade on, we're looking for 3 waves. Okay, probably. So we have 3 waves here. This is a 3-wave shape there. That's a W, X, and a Y right there. Now I'm looking for 3 more waves to develop. Okay, so I'm looking for this one to finish if it's not done. I'm looking for a connector wave, and then I'm looking for another hit to the low. And it's going to make overall a 3-wave shape. There's a million different ways that 3-wave shape can be made. But once that's made, looking for this low to be taken, $70,000 to be hit range, $72,000 range to hit, as low as 69 to 67, as low as that range. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that low, but it could go that low with a shot up to the upside very quickly. So that's my main idea. That's one of my main suggestions as to what the market may do here. Okay. Another main idea that I have, okay, is that this is boom. This is 3 waves there. And then this should the pullback should be small. And then we're going to come down relatively quickly rather than coming up, down in 3 waves where we have a connector that takes a while. I'm looking for this to come down with some speed to the downside. Okay. Somebody asked me a question that I don't have a lot of knowledge about because I've just been away from the news area. Oh, James, I know how it translates, by the way. I just think it's funny. I know what my cojones is. It's so funny. Okay. So question was asked, what do you think about the delisting of USDT in Europe? Okay, crypto business, when is that happening? Tell me about that a little bit. Who knows what about it? Because, and I know USDT probably has problems, but has that already happened? Are they talking about doing it? Well, what's the news there? And yes, that's going to hurt the crypto market because most people trade in USDT. That's going to, I say that would hurt. It would give probably a temporary bounce. It would give a temporary bounce to Bitcoin and crypto in general as people get out of USDT and then roll it over into some other stable coin. So in other words, I think it would provide probably a positive as money's moving out of USDT, you got to get out of it, right? So the USDT has to tank. So Bitcoin would probably get an initial pump from that, but it would be followed by a dump as it's moved into another stable coin. Now, what's going to be the stable coin? What is it going to be? Is it going to be USDC? Is it going to be what was it? Ripple USD? RUSD? What's the stable coin going to be? What is going to be the replacement for USDT? And you say Binance just did it 30 minutes ago. What do you mean delisted it? That means they have no charts on Binance. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not funny, James. I didn't know the other part. I just knew my cojones. Interesting. That's super, super interesting. Crypto business. Anybody know anything else about that? The USDT being delisted in Europe. That's eventually it's not going to be good for the market in general. Though I think it could give an initial bounce to crypto, but as money's being moved, but eventually it's going to. But the other take on it is it's going to undermine the stability and the belief system of crypto. In other words, it's going to undermine people's belief that there actually is stability in crypto at all, right? And so the fact of the matter is there isn't any stability, and that's being shown that USDT is not safe. And so if USDT is not safe, well, what makes USDC safe? Okay, what makes any other quote unquote stable coin safe? Okay, so I think there is stablecoin regulation that's going to come on the back of the USDT problem, would be my guess. As far as the U.S. is concerned, the U.S. is going to use that as a, hey, yeah, we need regulation in the stablecoin market, and they're probably going to roll out a stablecoin that everybody, that nobody even knows about right now. That's going to be government backed, and that's how we're going to get. Eventually, they're going to take us to the probably a CBDC, a central bank digital currency that is quote unquote stable and reliable, and you can believe in it because it's government backed. But that's going to completely undermine the whole purpose of crypto, which is to decentralize, to get away from government control. But it's funny how everybody believes that the government and its new interest in crypto is good for the crypto market. And it completely undermines the very foundational premise of what makes crypto so wonderful. And that is the decentralization of crypto, that governments can't control it. They can't oversee it. And we have freedom from government-controlled money. We have another format. And so the funny thing is everybody in the crypto world is excited about regulation in the crypto world, and you're completely undermining the whole point of crypto. So it's kind of a paradox. It's kind of hypocritical, I should say. I just think that people get so caught up in adoption, right? When governments, that just means there's adoption, and adoption is good for crypto. And everybody's just looking for any kind of news that puts crypto in the limelight that seems positive, so that that means crypto is going to pump. And the fact of the matter is, you have to understand how money is flowing in and out of markets. Okay, right now we have markets where the DXY, the US, the dollar index is tanking, while you have all the other markets tanking, which is super interesting. How is it you have usually the markets are gonna work in how do I say it conversely to the DXY. In other words, if people are selling, it's what we call risk on and risk off assets, right? So if risk is on, that means risk on markets are going to be going up, okay? So in other words, if people believe that it's safe to risk your money, they will spend the dollar in order to put it in markets. And so there's buying, selling the dollar, so to speak, and buying markets, and it's going to shoot the S&P up, right? The NASDAQ up, or wherever that money is flowing. Secondly, if people believe it's time to de-risk, the markets are unstable, and it's dangerous to have money at risk, and you're worried about losing money, then it's risk off, and that means there's going to be selling pressure in markets, and money's going to flow. Money's going to flow into a safer asset, generally the U.S. dollar. What's interesting now in this time period is we have the U.S. dollar, or the DXY, the dollar index, is going down, which is a measurement of the dollar's value. Okay, that means there's selling of the dollar still. The dollar is still being sold. Okay, but you also have a movement of the markets going down at the same time. So the question is, if people are selling in the markets and they're selling the dollar, where's the money going? Well, Bitcoin's not pumping right now. Bitcoin's not going up. Bitcoin's also tanking. I got a question for you smart people. What markets are going up? What markets are pumping right now? Where is it safe historically to put your money? That's right, Eric. You hit the nail on the head. That's where the big boys and people with real money are putting their money, because that's where it's historically safe. It's not safe to put your money in crypto. It's a completely speculative market still. It's not safe to put your money in meme coins or your money is safe in historically safe bets. Don't think people are going to take billions and billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, and say, oh, let me bet it on crypto. I'm going to just put it all in there because that's a safe asset. It only goes up. Big boys don't do that with big kind of money. You better believe those boys are going to put their money in what is historically time-tested real money. That's gold and silver. That is my belief. So we have markets that are going down. We have Bitcoin going down. We have the US dollar going down. Where's all that money flowing? I believe it's flowing into gold and silver. And I believe, and I made a video on it a couple of weeks ago, that gold is about to get a mega spike. I think gold and silver are probably prepping in the next year or two. You're going to start see it go parabolic. That's the portion of the chart I think we're in. So that's kind of where I think we are. And I think we are in a steady sell-off of Bitcoin. Now, why is the market going down so fast, and we get all these pullbacks that are kind of fast and furious, and then we get sell-off again, it pulls back fast, and then it sells off again? Why do we get that? Because, guys, it takes time and it takes buyers. Okay, if the big boys are selling, let's just learn something about markets here. If people with billions of dollars are selling, they have to have buyers. They have to have buyers. Well, how do they get buyers? Well, they manipulate the market in such a way. I mean, look. How did you feel when this wave was going, right? When this wave was just going straight up fast, fast, fast. How'd you feel? What was your, oh, here we go. We made a new high. We made an all-time high. We broke the high. Just going to pull back and we're going to keep going. And we're about to go parabolic, right? This was a pullback here. And here we go. We're going to keep going. But what happened? When that happened, we had the second round. We had the first round of sell-off, the real quick sell-off. Boom, boom, boom. Lots and lots of money happened in that sale. But we pump the market, sell again, pump the market, sell, systematically sell at these levels. Sell hard, pump the market, sell. Okay, we got to pump the market, sell. Okay, we've reached a key level. Let's pump the market. Let's sell again. And all of that is just Elliott wave theory. But Elliott wave explains the shapes that you see. But what really explains it is liquidity, money moving in and out of the market, and how the big boys get rid. They need price to come back up here because they haven't finished selling all their stuff. So they got a round of selling here, a round of selling here. They're selling, but they don't want to sell down here at this price. They want to sell up here at this price. So they're going to sell. But you know what the average retailer does? Oh, Bitcoin's going up. It's going up. It's getting ready to go to all-time highs. It's going to pump to 150K, and that's the narrative. And so you know what retail buyers are doing? Market's going up. They're buying in here. Buy. While big boys are sell at 100K. The biggest round number in the history of Bitcoin ever. What was everybody saying once price got to $20,000 in 2017 and 18? Once price got there, what was the next number? What was the next number? Bitcoin's going to 100,000. It took quite a while for Bitcoin to get there. In fact, it took 7 years for price to get there. But eventually, 6 years, price got to 100K. Okay? We've hit it. We have hit the number. Now what? The big boys are selling at this level. Do you think they want to be buying here? No way. They're not buying here. They're systematically selling. But they have trillions of dollars to sell. So they need stupid people to buy. And that's you and me if we're acting like the Moon Boys, buying Bitcoin at $80,000 and $90,000. Guys, listen. When price was down here at $15,000 and $20,000, I was screaming buy. I was like, if you were in my Discord at the time, I was just so giddy. I was like, guys, I am a bull boy. I am such a bull boy. Now, I was a bull boy to about 40 to 50,000. That's what I was calling for. I was not looking for this pump. Certainly it could take place, but I was looking for more of a quick wave to the upside, okay? And then another move down, kind of like that. That's what I was expecting. I did not, but the point is I was bullish when it's time to be bullish, guys. It is not time to be bullish right now. We're at the top of a wave. Yes, you could get another hit to the high. Yes, you could even get a pump to 150, and if you get it, it's a godsend. But you're going to have a stiff rejection from that level, more than likely. I doubt, though, that pump to 150 comes. I doubt it. I think this was our final pump. This was the one more high right there. That was your last wave. That was wave 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is too big for a wave 4. This is the beginning of a larger move down. This is a wave like this. This is a wave like this. Okay? That's what we're in. We're not in a continuation of this move. Otherwise, this pullback would have been smaller. This is a big pullback. It's the first wave. We're going to have a pullback. I don't know how big, but it's going to continue down. I don't think we're going to take that high. We could take that high. I don't think we're going to take that high. I think you've seen the last of 100K for a while. That's my belief. Could be wrong. I'm not here giving you financial advice. I'm here talking about how markets move, and I'm talking about wave structure and the way and the waves in which waves move. And I'm just trying to show you. Okay. So, take a little drink of coffee here and get moving in my analysis. So, what I'm saying is I think we're in a systematic sell-off and we're in the first wave of it. Okay, it's going to be 3 complex waves. So looking on the high time frame, I'm looking for the first wave to be 3 waves. I think we've already finished the first wave of, okay, how do I say it? The first wave is going to be 3 waves, but they're going to be complex, okay? So we have an initial 3 waves off the top. Boom, right there. That's an initial 3 waves. I think we're now in a complex 3 waves that's going to revisit 99 to 102K. It doesn't have to revisit that level. I just think it's likely. And then we're going to see a continuation down in 3 waves. Something like that. Now, who knows the exact shapes? But I'm thinking this first wave is done. So this X wave is what we're in. Yes, it is going up. But what I'm telling you, what I believe, is that we're going to hit this level in this X wave as part of a B wave, more than likely. Okay? So I believe that this is coming down like this and then going to shoot up like that. And that's a wave structure I spent time explaining at the top of this live stream. Okay, that's a flat. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's going to be followed by 3 waves that are going to not come down fast. It's going to be slow and methodical. It's going to be something like that. Price is going to stay in this range more than likely for quite a while. Probably the next year. Or the next 6 months to 8 months. And then at the end of the year, we'll see this probably dump down to the next level of support, which is right here. And this, more than likely, that right there will be the first wave of systematic sell-off, multi-year bear market. Okay, what would follow that? Some kind of something like this. Some flat, some three-wave move back up, where this is your first wave, this is your second wave. We're looking for a third wave then. Come down something like this. In a complex manner, but it's going to be a systematic multi-year sell-off that finds some support down here about 20K. As low as 15, as low as, I would say as low as 10K. I mean, it could go lower, but I think a high probability area is 10 to 20K pullback. We could even revisit 6 to 8K. I doubt it. But crypto likes to do that. Every S-coin chart, what does it do? It pumps, and when it pulls back after the first pump, where does it come? Where do all S-coins come? What is the pattern of crypto? They come all the way back to origin. Bitcoin is just the slowest of those coins. It's making the crypto pattern. Okay, we've got 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're in a very complex, I think this is the beginning, and my idea won't be validated until the first of the 3 waves is finished. I want to see if this flat plays out, because if it does, I'll be able to call the next dump. It's going to look like a pump. It's going to revisit 98 to 100K. And I think everybody's going to get bullish at that time. But I think that's the time where you can, if you get that pullback, you can exit crypto. You can at least take profit on your tradable spot stuff. Now, I'm going to talk about the bullish scenario in just a moment. But right now, I'm telling you what I think. Okay? It's what I think is going to happen, based on wave structure. Okay, if you want to see, let me show you a couple of examples. I feel like I repeat myself a lot, but let's revisit the Bitcoin chart right back here. Okay, there's 2 great examples that we can revisit the way crypto likes to correct when it does a wave 2. Before I get into I'm trying to stop my replay. There we go. Sorry, I had to stop my replay. Okay. So what I believe is that big complex thing I drew, okay, is going to be a wave 2. That this was the first wave of crypto, wave 1, and this is a big wave 2. If that's the case, Bitcoin's going to be here to stay. It's not ready to pump to 200K until this wave 2 finishes. When that wave 2 finishes, then we'll look for reaccumulation and continuation to the upside. That's what I would expect in this market. All right. From wave structure standpoint, the way waves usually move. Now, to show you, give you some examples of where I'm coming from here as far as the way waves move. We had a famous wave 2. Right in here, right here. This wave right there. That's a famous wave 2. And this is also a famous wave 2. Very complex. Let me explain both of them. I'm going to start with this one because it's a really easy wave structure that you can really see it. Okay. After this pump, okay, you had 5 clear waves. Let me just show it to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice that wave 4. Notice wave 4 was a running flat. Isn't that super interesting? You had A, B, C. Boom. 3 waves, running flat, beautiful. Then you had a nice finished 5th wave. Final pump, beautiful, right? Okay. What followed? Well, you got an initial pullback, boom, and then it continued. This was actually a flat right in there, boom, and then you had another wave. That was an initial 3 waves off the top. Let me go down to the 12-hour, See a little bit more detail in those waves. Let me take, there we go. I took that off the screen. Okay, now you can kind of see it. 3 waves. I said it was a flat. It wasn't a flat. I was wrong. 3 waves. Then you had 3 waves up, and then boom. So you had an initial flat 335 right there to start the wave. That was the first wave. But look what happened. You got boom, boom, boom. That was your second wave. 3 waves. Okay. Very large, complex waves. What followed? Boom, 3, 3, 3. 3 waves. Okay. What we're going to call that is that's the first wave of this multi-year I think this is a year and a half or something of price. And that was your W wave right there. WXY. That was your W wave. That was your first wave. It was complex. Okay, a double correction. What happened next? You got a connector wave of a flat. Boom, 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 right there. I remember trading that day. Totally remember. I missed it, but you better believe I caught that move because I recognize this as a flat. We missed that, but caught that. It was beautiful. Such a good trade. Okay, so there's a connector wave right here, and that's kind of the second wave. Boom. What happened next? Oh, this got complex, but it's a big flat is all it is. 3 down, 3 up, 5 down. Boom. And that's your third wave of a large W. There's your X, Y. Boom. There it is. And there was a narrative that was going along with this, but this was simply a precursor to the pump. This was the buying zone, okay? Buying zone for this pump that was going up. That's all it is. Okay? Notice you had a take profit zone, boom, a reaccumulation zone. Take profit zone, reaccumulation zone. Okay? That's the way it happens. All right, here's 3 waves. Let's look at the very first dump. Boom, boom, boom. There's your initial 3. Okay, now what you had after that was a running flat. That's your second 3. It was nasty. That running flat was nasty. You would expect it to revisit up here. Nope. They gave you a running flat. What happened for your third 3? This is the most nasty of them all. You had a 5, 3 triangle, 5. Oh, nasty. A, B, C, D, E. Boom. Triangle. Finished wave. 5, 3, 5. So what that is, all that is a 3-wave correction. It was nasty, but there it is. W, X, Y. Nobody can predict the shape of the correction. Nobody can. But that was the first, that was wave number 2. Then you had wave number 1 of the third, wave number 2. All right? So, why can't I reset chart view? No, that's not what I want to do. I want to stop. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now, there we go. Got it. Now, okay, so what are we looking at here? Again, same kind of thing. We're looking for this 3 waves to finish taking shape. Okay? The best I've got, again, just trying to understand this. I was expecting this to come up here and then come down in 3. We didn't get that move. So I think a couple of things could be happening. I think we have an initial 3 waves down. Boom. I think we're currently in another 3-wave move where this could come down straight or it could come down in 3. Either way, I'm looking for this to come down, take this zone. Take this zone right here. Take this zone right there. And that's the second of 3 waves. Boom. Looking for 3 more down to come and take this zone here. Whether we find support or we take the low. Doesn't matter. We're going to find. And that's going to be the initial wave. The first. And it could come down even deeper. Just something like that. Then you should see 3 waves back up. It could take any number of shapes. But you're looking for 3 waves. And then you're looking for a complex boom, 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 3. In which case it creates this zone. That's kind of what you're looking for right there. Something like that. Now, I drew it to 0. That's not what I meant, right? I just kind of drew it fast, right? Let me draw that a little bit better. Boom. Oops, sorry, I didn't draw that right. Yeah. 3, 3, 3. Let's find some support here. But crypto likes to come deep. It does. Boom. Do the bottom we all know and love. And that's when we go. That's when we go. Okay, so there it is. That's what I believe is happening. I think this current wave is the beginning stages of a multi-year bear market. That's going to look something like that as we go down. It's going to take a different shape. There's no way for me to predict that exactly. Okay. Who could have predicted that this wave down right here was going to be such a trifle of a connecting wave, and just to come straight down fast? Who could have predicted that? Nobody. There's no way to predict the shape. Just we have in general, but this was a wave 4. So understanding that now, we can say, okay, I'm expecting something complex here that takes a long time. And I think we have hit 110K was the top. Okay. What if, Jim, what if you're wrong? So let me exercise a little bit of, what if my thinking is incorrect and we're actually still in a bull market and there's more upside to come? What wave structure could it be from an Elliott wave standpoint? Okay. Couple of things. If we're really in a bullish market that I've never seen before, like that it's so bullish, like really bullish, couple of bullish counts here. First bullish count. This is somewhat immediately bearish, but not as bearish as I just drew. This could be 5 waves in what we call a leading diagonal. Okay. Sometimes in leading diagonals, the second wave, wave 2, gets very shallow. In which case, we actually, this wave 2 actually holds this level up here fairly firmly, and that's it. That becomes your wave 2. It doesn't get complex. That's it. And it gets set for major pumping after that. It still requires this pullback, but it's going to be shallow. Okay? It won't be deep. It won't be as deep as I've drawn. Let me show you an example of such a wave. Okay. I'm going to write down here. You see this move right here? See that 3-way pullback? This is kind of like a triangle. Wave 4, wave 5, 3-way pullback. That's it. And then she just went. You got this little move right there, and that's all you got. That was it. Boom, boom, and then pump we go. That was in a 3rd wave. That was in a wave 3, though, right? That was a wave 3 of the 3rd. So in other words, that's the real bullish wave. But you can get them like that. Notice you had this initial, and then you had this little pullback. We were looking for something deeper here, and then to continue. I really was looking for a deeper retest, and it just didn't. It just gave you this little pullback and then continued. So there are times in the market where that's all you get. Could this be one of those times? I can't predict that. There's just no way. There's no way for me to know that. But that could be a bullish something that we see. That this was 3 waves. It's finished, or being very close to finished. All right. And now we're going to just start pumping. And that's even more bullish, what I just drew right there. But I don't have a big count for that. See, the problem with this is that, we're at a major level of resistance. So I don't gravitate to this count, but I'm going to say, okay, potential. I've got to be on the guard for that. That's 5, and we just get a small, let's just get a small pullback here, and let's go again. And that becomes a 1-2, but that means death to the dollar and a parabolic rise of crypto. That crypto is going, that means crypto is getting ready to go to $500,000. That's what that means. And you have to believe that. What kind of market cap would have to happen? What would have to happen in order for us to have a market cap that takes the price of crypto there? What would have to happen economically? Well, the dollar and all fiat currencies would have to die for it to be valued in those dollars, astronomical amounts. That may be what we're on the precipice of. So that is a scenario that is possible. That we could have the kind of crash in our dollar and in our economy in such a way that the value of crypto is just going to skyrocket. The problem I'm seeing is there is a strong need for a culling of the crypto market. In other words, there are so many cryptos out there and so many crap coins out there that need to die. They need to die. The space needs to be de-weeded. It needs to be, the weeds need to be pulled. And what needs to rise to the top are the beautiful flowers within the crypto space that are actually going to have real utility, that are going to be actually helpful in a digital economy. Not just meme coins and not these meme coins and not these just this actual coins that just have no real usage in the world. No real scalable usage, viability for mass usage. There might be some people that find, in other words, this market has to die a little bit. And to me, the only thing that's going to bring that death on is just a multi-year strong resistance to bullishness, where Bitcoin just systematically goes down. Slowly and just basically, and all these coins that are all these crap coins that are hovering around zero, just they end up dying. They don't get the pump that everybody's looking for, that everybody's hoping for. They just end up dying. And I think that's something that needs to happen in the crypto world so that the real utility can rise to the top. I might be wrong on that, but that's something I see as a real possibility. Okay? Yeah, Music Life, I just caught your comment that crypto might go to zero and crypto will be over at some point. I mean, it's certainly possible that this is definitely a speculative market, but what's also possible is that what this current phase of crypto is going to do is give rise to the digital age that is coming. What this is doing, what this current crypto environment is doing, is giving credence to the idea of digital assets or digital money, that whole concept that something digital can have massive value. That's what Bitcoin has done. Bitcoin has moved in such a way it's given credence to the idea that there can be value in something digital. A monetary thing that's digital. Kimosabi, that's my exact point, that I think we're in the kind of correction on Bitcoin that's going to bring on that death. I think so. That's my very point. That's why I'm much more bearish right now. My mind, when I look at the chart, I'm like, this is bearish. This is not good. I think everybody's looking for the next pump to 150 to 200K. And I think I think a lot of people that are looking for that are going to get super disappointed. And then there are going to be a bunch of people wishing they had taken their profit around 100K. And they're going to find out that crypto, Bitcoin is going to go down again. And, and just crypto has a way of just, there you go. So just crypto has a way of just deflating you, right? Just absolutely deflating you. Okay, that's what I think we're in. What's another bullish scenario? So one bullish scenario said we finished 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's wave 1, and we get just a very, very shallow wave 2. In which case we hold support somewhere at this first level of 40 to 60K. We hold that area. All right. Is that supported by that trend line? Maybe. As long as this wave takes a while, 40K can be supported by that trend line. So that could be 40K is definitely a buy area for a bounce, potentially for a bounce. Could bounce up and go higher. Okay, what else could that be if it's bullish? Again, if it goes parabolic, what we could be seeing is this is what we call a 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and what we're in now is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. So we're going to 500K. That this is going to be a shallow correction. This is still a wave 1. Okay, it's 5 waves. We're looking for a deeper correction here. Again, finding support around 60K. Okay, and 40 to 60K, and then up parabolically to the moon. Okay, so that's another bullish view of this market. Rather than seeing 5 finished waves with a multi-year bear market ahead of us, we actually just see a short, shallow retrace. I've offered you 2 or 3 counts now that give us a shallow retrace, but it's not finished. We need 3 clear waves in the higher time frame, and then we get ready for a pump to the upside. So that's another possibility. Okay, guys, this live stream is one for the ages. I'm really doing my due diligence here, trying to look at Bitcoin from a geopolitical standpoint, an economic standpoint, a market maker standpoint, an Elliott wave standpoint, and trying to be as I'm giving you what I think from a bearish perspective, looking at the markets as finished, and then now I'm making my brain switch and look bullishly at these waves and say, what could it be? And I'm doing everything I can do to give you a balanced perspective. I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you'll share this with your friends. It's really valuable and rational TA that I'm giving you. My voice is shot right now. I've been talking hard nonstop for the last hour and 10 minutes. I need to give it a rest for a minute. Let me just take a drink. Rest. I'll maybe catch up on some of your comments. If you've got some comments, let me know. I'll read some of them. James Bond says, "What about alt season?" I don't know that we require an alt season. Past performance does not guarantee future performance, right? Do we have to have an alt season? I mean, there could be one. Will there be one? I don't know. Andres R says 10K, no way. I mean, it's in the realm of possibility. Is it likely? I don't know how likely it is. I think 20K to 40K is much more likely, right? But 10K, a wick down there, a very short visit down to 10K with a V-shaped recovery back up is definitely possible. I think you ought to at least keep it in the realm of possibility, especially from a past, the way crypto has moved in the past. Eric says, Bro says, this is the best explanation I've ever heard, Jim. Well, thank you. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I hope it helps you. I hope it's a good. I hope it's educational and just helps you understand markets and the way they move, the way money flows. Exactly, Chemo. I made that point. Were you here when I made the point about gold? I basically said, hey, the DXY is tanking. The markets are tanking. Where's money going? Gold and silver's pumping. Gold more than silver right now. That's okay, bud. I love you anyway, man. Love you. Appreciate you. It's been a good one from the beginning. I think it's been a real good one. I've felt in my element and felt just like, hey, I've got some wisdom here to offer people, and hope you guys are enjoying it. All right, let's do some analysis. I've given you bullish and bearish perspectives, macroeconomic, geopolitical perspectives, and now market maker, money flow perspective, and I've just kind of tried to build a narrative and build a something here worth just thinking about and putting it all together from a Elliott wave standpoint as well. Now, let's do correlation analysis. In other words, let's not just look at one chart. Let's look at the rest of the market. Let's look at XRP, Ethereum. Let's look at the traditional markets, DXY, gold, silver, and let's look at Tesla. Let's just kind of get an overview. Okay, and we'll see. It hasn't been a rant, but it's the chest. That's hilarious. No, it's just been good teaching time, I think, and I've felt like it's I don't know, cohesive and on point. So I hope you guys feel that way. Hit the like buttons if you do think it's been on point, guys. Thanks. All right, XRP. Let's start there because I'm trading XRP quite a lot here. Okay, so let's look at the 3-day chart here, two-day chart. Okay, I look at XRP and I'm like, that's not an encouraging chart. That really isn't. Notice the wicks. Okay, so I want you to notice the liquidity wicks right here. See that? That's bad news. Okay, why is it bad news? Well, because we say, well, Jim, that's support. Price is supported there. This is wicks. We got a bunch of wicks. Yes, and it is possible that it's bullish. It really is. However, we have now candles that are beginning. Okay, let's go to the daily chart. Well, let's see the 3-day. You'll notice that this 3-day closed below these wicks. Okay, we had a bounce, and now we have 3-day candles. We got 21 hours left on this candle. We want to see how this closes. But if this closes in this area, that's very bearish for this chart. It doesn't mean it has to go straight down. It just means that, hey, we keep getting candle closes with lower lows, okay? And we're now in the area of these wicks that, price. See how these wicks and then price rebounded and then continued. Now we've come down to these wicks. We're retesting, but now we're rolling over. This needs to find support, but the problem is I don't have a wave structure here that says we need to go up here. I actually have wave structure here that's 3 wave-ish that says we probably need to come down in 3 waves. Okay. So anyway, that's on the higher time frame. Okay. So it looks like we have a clear 5 waves. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like we got 5. We got a wave 4 here. Boom. You say, there's your first of 3 waves. Now what do we got? Looks like boom, boom, boom. 3 waves up. What's happening here? This could be 3 down. And that would be the beginning of sorrows to finish out the move. Then you get some kind of bounce. And then more down later for XRP. Could be. Could be. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it could be. I would love for all of you XRP holders to get the pump you're looking for. I really want that for you. I don't have a horse in the race. I don't care. Okay, I don't hold any spot XRP. A lot of you do, and I know a lot of you are wanting that. And I'm not here to say it's impossible. It is totally possible. But right now, the wave structure, to me, when I look at it, I'm like, okay, what do we got here? What's happening? Well, you had this what looks like an impulse here, but what happened? You had a 3-wave pullback that took that low. When that 3-wave took that low, that is a bearish signal. That's a bearish signal. Now, that doesn't mean we can't come up here even now. What we could have going on is this could be a 3-wave. This could be 3. Okay, now we could be getting 3 to revisit this high before we dump, really. So again, this would follow a Bitcoin. Remember how I said I'm looking for Bitcoin to kind of hit the low, then kind of come up, and then roll over? Well, that's exactly what might play here. Where we come down a little bit, we take out these levels, and then we rebound relatively quickly back up to this level, and then down. Okay, so that's a wave structure. But the point here is this wave right here took that low. That's not good. What else could be happening? This is even more bearish, okay, in the immediate term. This right here could be 3 waves. And then you have the A. This is your B wave, and we're actually in an impulse that's getting ready to pick up some real steam here and come down here. And then all of a sudden, what's happened? You have a W, X, Y, and that's the first wave ready for your next wave. That is my favorite count that I've shown you for XRP because it makes the most sense out of what we're seeing at the moment. Are we going to come down in one day? Probably not. It's going to take multiple days. This could be a bearish week. Doesn't have to be. We could have a bullish week. There are ways that this can go up. What we're looking for and what you should watch for is you start to what I call use progressive trend lines, okay? Progressive trend lines help you identify when the market is shifting bullish and bearish. So what I do personally is the first trend line I want to watch. Actually, the first trend line I want to watch is this one right here. Okay, I'm going to start there. If that breaks to the upside, that's the first evidence of bullishness. But that doesn't mean the market's bullish. It's just the first evidence of, hey, we're breaking to the upside a little bit. Okay, the next one I want to see is probably this one right here. I want to see that break. So if price breaks here, then we're going to see, do we bounce off that trend line and come down? Or does this break that as well? If we break that one, that's a bullish sign. That's more bullish, okay? The next one I want to see, and it's very relatively close. In fact, this may be actually that, okay, so wrong order. We're going to see this one and then that one, right? And then I guess then we're going to look for this one here, right? That one right there. So as you progress through these levels, trend lines, you want to watch for these breaks. If you get the break, they get more bullish. But the problem is, if this breaks and comes up here, watch out for a dump after that, because that's a common thing. Boom, 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 and then down. Okay. Either way, what I'm looking at is not bullish wave construction. It's relatively bearish to me. And the main reason why is this wave. Oh, sorry. This wave right here took that low. And it took away some bullishness to this wave. However, I am looking at this wave right here as a 5-wave move. Is this 3-wave pullback going to start now coming up in 5 waves? That is a bullish count. Okay, so I'm looking for 5 potentially. But I think that feels a little too obvious. I think it's much more likely that we get a pullback and then a continuation down. There's no way for me to tell how this is going to go down with any certainty. We don't have to retest up here, but we could. There's no way for me to know. But I like this count. It makes sense. This count right here, WXY from the top. W, there's your X. Now we're in Y. And what would be tricky is if this were an A and this is B and then we get C. What actually happens is this turns into a real deep impulse wave. I think that would mess a bunch of people up, freak a bunch of people out, and then we'd get a rebound. So if I get a 3-wave shape on a macro like this, this is where I think about buying. That's where I think about buying. That's where I want to buy. I don't want to buy up here necessarily. I was a buyer in here looking at this as 3 waves, looking for that pump. I bought and made money on that. Sold. Sold early, but I sold. Okay? I don't have a clear 3-wave shape yet. Finished. I think we're in the middle of it. I don't think it's finished. So many different shapes that can be made here, but nevertheless, I don't see. So looking at the XRP chart, it's bearish to me, and I don't see a finished wave structure. Yeah, I like that's a good point, Chemo. Very good points. Okay, let's look at Ethereum now. And again, I'm just going to try to analyze wave structure here. Yeah, ETH does look bad. I mean, ETH this just in general does not look good. We have broken. See this trend line right there? That's not good. We have broken that. I'm on the 3-day chart here, guys, and we've got many closes of candles below that. Okay, Ethereum does not look bullish. Weekly, I lost my trend line. We are below the 200 weekly moving average, and we have a closed week. We have a lower low closed weekly, and we have closed below that trend line. That is just not good. It's just not good at all. Last time we did that, I mean, there you go. There it is. So, I mean, that's bearish, guys. That is so bearish. It just doesn't look good at all. But we're in the middle of a flat. What appears to be a flat. We have 3 waves down. We have 3 waves up. Okay. So we have a target zone. The 1618 is right here below this liquidity zone. Let's do this. Let's pull the fibs from here. Okay, as this or an A wave, and that's a B wave. Okay, the one-to-one extension is at $100. I'm not seeing that, but it could. It could. Crypto does like to come all the way back down. Trying to be reasonable here, guys. I'm really trying to be practical and reasonable. Let's draw this trend line here. Right there. There it is. Just depends on how long it takes to get down here. Is it going to come straight down? I don't think so. I think this is the beginning of sorrows here, right? This is a flat. Let's target this, pull back. Something like that. $400, find support, and then let's get bullish again. But this wave structure doesn't look good. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. Now, I might be misinterpreting. See, that's the thing about Elliott. I could be misinterpreting the waves that we're seeing. But this is the way it just doesn't look good. Obviously, you can get bounces in the immediate. You can get some. You can get a bounce here. But at the end of the day, I need 5 waves to finish. I like $900. $800, $900. I like that area. Boom, a wick down to 400, and then let's go. But I don't know how that would correlate with a Bitcoin pump and then a dump. I'm not sure. Let me make myself look bullishly at it. I'm going to try here. Okay, so here's the bullish look. The bullish look says, okay, we're going to get maybe a move. Let's see. See where the fibs line up. I like that area. Okay, let's try the 786. Down to here. This zone right here. But I need that to hold. I need that zone to hold. Okay? And so the way we're looking at these waves is that instead of this being way down here, we're looking at that as 3. And we're looking at this as 3. That's not a... Well, how about this? How about this? What if we're looking at this as 3? It's ugly. Could be. That means this could be 3. We get down here and we have a massive just pump of the ages. And then all of a sudden that becomes a leading diag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how that fits with Bitcoin, a Bitcoin move. I don't know. Except that Bitcoin pumps to 150K or something. But Ethereum doesn't look great right now. For Elliott wave, I need 5 waves here. Let's go down to the daily. I need a 335. Okay, so there's 3. There's 3. I need 5 here. This is not anywhere near finished. This is not done. It's not even close. When I say it's not even close, it's not going to happen soon. It's going to be a couple months. I got May. Yes, you can get a pullback here. There can be a several days of a pullback, right? But looking for this to get dumpy. April, May time frame. And I need this to look like 5 waves, and I just don't have it yet. I don't know what shenanigans are coming here, guys. I really don't. Let's look at small time frame. This looks like it could be a flat in the making. So, see this right here? You got 3 waves. This could be 3. I need this to finish, come down, and then shoot up. And this could be a flat, and then followed by. So down, finish, shoot up, and then down for more selling to finish the wave out. Now, if that happens, that's going to give us a nice wave shape. It's going to give us a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. Maybe that's the way we look at it. I really don't like this. This doesn't have good shape at all. Let me look at XRP on the small time frame because I'm trading small time frame. Yeah, I'm not sure. Any number of things can happen in here. That could be a 3-way pullback and come up here. Could still come down. That could be 3 waves right there. It's done, and now we just continue down. Take the low and then pump. There's so many things that can happen here. All right. So Ethereum looking not good. XRP doesn't look good. Let's look at ADA for a minute. Let me pull it up. Let me look at SOL for a moment. Weekly chart. Got a nice 5-wave shape here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you got 5 waves in the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that's a nice 5-wave shape. This is an initial wave that isn't finished. Could get a pump here and then a dump. That would finish it. Maybe. Pull back more down. That would correlate with a multi-year bear market for Bitcoin. That took a long time. Yeah. This is looking like it's in the process of a big move down. Then we go up later. SOL needs time. Or it's going to die, one of the two. But it does not look up to me. Could go up, then it would look up, right? But right now, does not give me the impression of up. See this current wave here on SOL? Looks just like this right there. But it's not finished. This isn't finished. RSI is not finished. You could get a bounce here, but it's not done. I wanted to look at ADA. Again, look at high time frame charts, daily and weekly. Oh, look at this. Look at this flat, guys. Look at how clear it is. 3, 3, 5. That's a connecting wave. That is a connector. What's it connecting? You got a clear W, X, Y, 3. I mean, so what's next, guys? Come on. What's next? ADA is about as clear as it gets. You got 3. We got potential 3, looking for 3. So we got a potential pump coming. This has to finish, come up here, and then 3 down. But that's what's coming. Some kind of down wave down here. That's what ADA looks like. ADA doesn't look good at all either. I mean, it just looks bearish, guys. It looks bearish. This isn't finished. There's a million shapes that can happen here, and you could get pumps. But what I'm saying is that more when those pumps happen, look for more downside to come. There are opportunities for selling. That's the way I'm looking at that chart. I'm very bearish. And the wave that really gets me bearish is this right here. Boom, boom, boom. That's 3 waves. This was 3 very clearly. And now we're doing this. So if this low gets sold, I mean, broken, that's confirmation. That doesn't mean it can't go up quickly and then fall down, right? It can make that shape right there. Boom. And then come down. Come down in 3. What happens after that, we'll have to wait and see. We'll analyze as it's time. But guys, the ADA chart is bearish. May looks like a good time. I mean that's the way I'm seeing it from ETH. And let's look at some other coins. I got Mr. Fairhill. You still here, buddy? If you're here, I'll do metas for you. Just let me know. All right, I'm just going to run through a bunch of altcoins here, guys. Here's Matic. It's in the death throes, guys. Matic isn't just in the death throes. Does not look good at all. That's a weekly chart. That is no good. CRV, again, death throes. There's just nothing there. Trump coin. It's gonna start plateauing out and then get a pump. But it's not ready for that yet. MicroStrategies. I'm very bearish on MicroStrategies. But more than likely we're in a B wave. Looking for more down. VET. Man, all these altcoins are not looking good. VET is trying to find some support here. I see a pump could become near term on some of these charts. Man, look at all these charts, guys. They don't look good. They're just pump, 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 and then just I mean, I guess we could get alt pumps here, I suppose. I mean, yeah. They don't look ready though. But man, if all these coins are hanging out at the low, what's going to happen if Bitcoin starts tanking? That's Zill. Here's Maker. Yeah, this doesn't look finished. We're in a wave like this. It's bearish. I mean, the pump could come, but I already looked at as well. There's Jasmine. Oh, this crypto market looks so bad. See that wave right there? We're in this stage. We're reaching that level. This is just going to either die or just play around down here. I'm just looking at XRP, a small time frame right now. It's quite a bit of volume there. All right, looking at Jasmine. Not ready to, I mean, look at that, just straight off. Now, usually when you get that kind of a shape, you get some kind of breakout out of it. So I would expect a pump coming. It's not going to be huge, but I expect a pump coming. H-bar. Oh, H-bar is holding. It's not finished. Oh, that is not done. But you got 3. You got 3. 5. Boom. It's just... It just doesn't look done. It's not finished. But pump could be coming soon. Boom, boom, boom. Something like that. Intermediate pump with Bitcoin, but then more down. So guys, I think we're in a large, I think all the charts are showing that we're in a large correction. We need a B wave to the upside, but there's more coming down. It's going to be weak pumps. There's more down to come. That's my view of the market, guys. Guys, I'm pretty exhausted. I'm going to call it a night. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Thanks for. Oh, I didn't. Let's finish up the live stream tonight, looking at the DXY, and then we're going to look at S&P, Nasdaq, and gold. Then we'll finish up there. Okay. Looking at the weekly on the DXY, I'm expecting this to at minimum be A, B, looking for C down here. So I'm expecting a crash of the dollar that's going to happen over the next couple of years, 2-3 years. Okay, this is going to systematically work its way down. Okay, sell off of the dollar is in play, and it could come a lot farther down than I have drawn. Okay, but if it breaks this trend line, that's not good. Okay, but yeah, we're coming down here. The dollar is maybe in the death throes. It's really not good. Okay. That's where we're headed. DXY is going down. Okay, let's look at S&P. The S&P, guys, I see I did some analysis last week. I see the potential for this to be some kind of a multi-year bear market with one more hurrah. I doubt that, but it could play. Otherwise, we could see one more pump, boom, that finishes it, blow off top, and then boom, boom, boom. We get a big sell-off. Otherwise, this is the beginning stage right here. Of something much larger. That would be a multi-year sell-off of the S&P if that happens. May not get that kind of a bounce. It may come down a lot deeper than you think. If what is coming is massively economic death, then, then we may get a lot bigger sell-off. But I'm bearish. I do see some potential for new highs to be made. Potential, for sure. But I would be skeptical with bigger highs coming. Nasdaq looks a lot more finished than S&P does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm looking for this wave. Tesla, guys, looking. This is an A wave. That's a B wave looking for C. Tesla has more to come. I like $40 to $90. Over the next several years, but expecting the Tesla stock to take off after that. Big time. That's a buying opportunity in the next several years. Okay, gold. I think gold's going to go parabolic. Money seems to be flowing into gold. I think gold is going parabolic. You get small pullbacks, but I'm seeing it go. That's where money seems to be moving. Silver, not so much. But hopefully silver gets a parabolic rise here too. But I think we're in the next stages of some parabolic moves. 1, 2. Let's go. So. All right, guys. I'm bullish on gold and silver, bearish on Tesla and the regular markets, guys, and and crypto in general. I'm bearish. That's where I stand right now. Guys, I hope y'all have a fantastic evening. Thanks for joining me on tonight's live. And I'm going to call it a night. I'm tired. I've been talking for 2 hours. We're going to call it a night. My voice is shot. So thanks again. Hit the likes for me and come on into the Discord if you're not part of a Discord and you want some company in trading this market. I'd love to have you. With that said, y'all have a great night. See ya.